This video is for theme communication, unit, been there, seen that. And in this video tutorial we're going to be using Tizzy's First Tools Publish program to create some scenes. First of all, we need to make sure that we choose the level 2 star. So move your arrow over to the number 2 and click. Once it's turned yellow, we're then ready to use the program. So move your arrow over to the Publish button and click again. This will take you to the program that we're going to be using. You're first introduced to the Activities panel, and what you need to do from here is choose the template that you're going to use for your scene. For this activity we're going to use the second template down with the baby and the teddy bear picture on it. We're not going to be using those pictures, but we will be using this template to create our scene. So move your arrow over to that picture and click. This is the screen that we'll be using to create our scene, and you'll notice that there are several buttons at the top. The first button is the New button, and that creates for us a new document in case we want to do a second scene. The second button with the blue tray is the Open button, and that will open a document for us if we've already created one. The green tray is the Save button, so if we want to save our work, we click on that button. The fourth button is the Print button. So if we're happy with our scene at the end and our teacher's happy for us to print it off, we can click on that and print out our scene. The button with the mouth on it is the Speak button, and that will play any text that we write in this box down here so that you can hear those texts being spoken. The next button is the Effects button, and here we could change many different things about our writing. This button is the Pictures button. If we click on that, we'll be taken to a bank of different images that we can use in our scene. And this button, this is the Words button. This will give us a bank of words that we can use in our description down here at the bottom. And then we finally have Tizzy the Clown, which we can click on if we require any help. To create our scene, it's going to be very simple because we simply need to follow the steps that are given to us on this program. If we read the top step, it says choose a picture and drag it into this box. Make it as big as you want. So to do that, I'm going to be using the Picture button here. If I click on that Picture button, it takes me to a bank of different images that I can use inside my scene. I'm going to scroll down this window and I'm going to create a scene about the seaside. You don't have to choose this scenery. You can do something about space or plants or pets or any other of these objects and scenes. But again, I'm going to use the seaside picture, so I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to first of all select the background that I want to use in my scene. Now I can either do this in black and white, which are the pictures down the left, or I can do it in colour, which are the pictures down the right. I'm going to start off with the big picture as my background. So to put this picture on my screen, I have to move my arrow over the picture, click my mouse button, keep hold of my mouse button, and then drag the picture across into this box. Once I've got the picture, I'm going to delete this text here. To do that, I move my arrow over to the box with the text inside it and click. And then on my keyboard, I find the backspace key, which is this one, that looks like it's a big button with a backward arrow on it. And I will click on that button to delete the text that I no longer want inside that yellow square. Once I've done that, I then need to move this picture to the top edge of this yellow box. So to do that, I'm going to click on it and then very carefully keep hold of my mouse button and drag it to the top left hand corner like that. You'll notice that I can drag something if my arrow has turned, so this is my arrow, if it has turned into a hand with a pointing finger. If the arrow is turned into a hand with a pointing finger, I can click and drag that object anywhere I want on the screen. Once I've dragged it to the top corner, I then want to resize this picture so that it fills this box as much as I can. And to do that, I need to move my arrow over to one of these red squares that surround the picture in the corner. So if you notice again, if I move my arrow into the red box, it changes to a crosshair, which means that I can then click, keep hold of my mouse button, drag, and I can make it bigger, like that. Now I've got the background for my scene, it's time to put some characters into my scene. And to do that, it's a very simple process of finding the pictures that you want inside the menu, and doing the same again by dragging them onto our scene. So I'm going to start by dragging this boy here, by clicking on him, keeping hold of my mouse button, dragging him on to my scene, like that. What's really important then is to make sure that you resize the character so that it fits into the rest of the scene. And what I mean by that is, we don't want him to be too big and we don't want him to be too small. He needs to stay in proportion, that's a big word, in proportion with the rest of the background, which means this boy isn't really going to be smaller than these little rocks here. So that means at the minute he's not in proportion to the rest of the picture. But if I make him too big, it's very unlikely that he's as big as the rocks, like that. So you need to make sure that you resize him so that he is just about the right size compared to everything else in the background. Obviously, if you want to put the boy far away, then you might want to make him small and move him far away, because things and people that are far away are smaller than things and people that are close to you. Okay, so I'm going to be happy with putting the boy there and making him that size. I then want to put another character into my scene. I think I'm going to choose this girl here. I'm going to click on her, drag her into the picture. You can see she's not in proportion to the rest of the picture because she's much taller than the boy. So I need to resize her and make her about the same size as the boy, like that. I'm then going to finish this scene by putting some objects onto the background rather than just people. So I'm going to put this nice rock pool here, resize it a little bit, move it down. You can see that I'm swapping between the resizing hash like that and the red squares to moving it with the pointing finger like that. And I'll finish by clicking on this girl again and moving her over here so it looks like that she's caught the crab from the rock pool. And that's my scene finished. In the next video I'm going to show you how we can write some text to describe the picture down here at the bottom, and now we can add some different words from the word bank to our description to improve our scene.